I found that there's a problem with some of the older systems that I've made where once the water line gets down to the refill line and you add water, and in this case I've added 5 syringefuls or about 300 milliliters of fluid, it should be at or above this full line. But as you can see here, the meniscus line is still staying in one place and it doesn't move. And in the past, if that happens, I would raise up the front end and then followed by putting the front end back down and then raising the back end of it and rocking it back and forth. And then this meniscus line would come up here. So in order to find the problem, this happened in one of my systems, and so I took it apart to see why it's happening. And I found that this top hose here, there's too much slack in it, so it bends down here rather than going from here to here in sort of an upward tilt. And when you have the slack in it, it allows water to build up in this tube. And that blocks the air coming out of here, which holds the meniscus level at that low level. So as a remedy, you can either rock the system back and forth to get this water out of this tube. In this case, it might take a little bit of a steep angle to get it out of this tube. Or you can take this tube off by undoing this cap here and pulling the tube off, and then straightening it out so there's very little slack going to this input here, and as well as draining the fluid out of this tube. And that'll allow it to work as normal. I've now shortened this hose up and had it so it bends upward instead of downward. Because if you have a downward bending tube, it'll accumulate water in it and prevent the meniscus or the water level from changing, especially from going upward, because it'll be pushing against the water in this tube and it won't have enough pressure to overcome it. So that will keep the water meniscus in place down at the bottom where it was when you attempted to fill it. So one of the things you have to be careful of is that when you're putting this on, it's going to twist the tubing here. So you only want to put it on tight enough until the tube begins twisting, and then you know you have a sufficient binding on it. And the other thing is there's not so much tension on it that it pulls against this and causes a sharp angle to develop here, or a sharp angle to develop here. You want enough slack in there so that it doesn't constrict the tubing. Also notice that the water level has jumped up to full, and all I did was replace this hose and get the water out of this hose, and now the water level is now able to freely go up.